Hello everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the creative director here at Bubblegum Cartoons, and today I'll be showing you my sketch tour. Now this is not just any sketch tour. I know you guys really wanted to see my sketchbook. However, I haven't carried a sketchbook in quite some time. These are actually some warm-up sketches that I do before work. I don't just work here at Bubblegum Cartoons as an animator and showrunner. I actually have a job in the industry, so these are the sketches that I do before I start my work. These things can range from, over a year ago to something I did yesterday. These are also just kind of like warm-up sketches, things that I'm just kind of getting some expressions down, some motion down, and some of them are a little more finished as well. I'm going to be presenting it on my workspace here. I have one that's actually attached to a desk. You guys have probably seen these desks in the behind-the-scene videos of those old VHS tapes back in the day, like those old Disney behind-the-scenes things where you see the animators spinning these around. This one's not spinning right now, obviously, because it's not in a desk. These are kind of antiques. They're animation wheels, and you can see here that we have paper that is specially made for this wheel. You can see that has these 3 holes here, and these just connect to the peg bar. That way they don't slide around while I am sketching and animating. So this is kind of, they're super hard to find. My friend West actually gave this to me. I love this thing so much. It is so awesome. They're super hard to find. They're kind of like vintage treasures. I love them so much. So for most of these sketches, I will be using a colerase prismacolor pencil. I really like just crimson red, or I really like Tuscan red as well. So I will use these as under sketches. These are really great because they're super light and then they can blend really easily with copic markers. I use these for shading. I do not use these for line work. I don't really recommend using them for line work. And then I have just regular prismacolor pencils on top for all the line work. So without further ado, let's get into my animation sketches. So let's take a look at some of my warm-up sketches. Woo! So the first category I have here is actually just really quick getting some ideas down. So these are expression sheets, or they're kind of like trying to find the form of characters. So this is, of course, is the bow from Bow. So I just kind of thought about all the things after I saw the short. So I want to make him like sad, angry, having trouble getting up somewhere, eating fun food, wearing little scallions like a hat because he's a little dumpling, of course, and like kind of posing with a little bowl of soy sauce, or just flat out crying on the ground. So this is just a way that I kind of got these really quick emotions and feelings down. This is Joy. This is one of my favorite pieces I've done. I actually just went screenshot for screenshot, and I did like a little character study because she's got some of the best poses. She goes like pose to pose to pose, and she's super dynamic and super cute. I love this face, and I think this one's my favorite. I think she's complimenting herself on her own dress, so that one is very cute as well. I'm gonna try to go through these because I don't want this video to be a million years long. See, this is something that's a little more messy. This is Spider-Gwen. So you guys will see, like, usually I'm very weird the way I do these. It's like sometimes it'll all be concentrated in one corner over here because I'll be trying to find her, trying to think of like her face, how it's laid out, and then I'll be like meh, maybe, boom, got it. Usually when you do your warm-up in the beginning of the day, it's not going to be your best piece. Some days you're just going to get it right away, and then other days you're going to need to like do a little more discovery. So this one I had to go like, I don't know, yes, got it. Awesome. So I like this one a lot as well. So these ones are just colerase, and then this one is the colerase with the, and then I go in with copic, and then I go in with the line work, and then I go in with the deepest copics after that. This is Elastigirl, more expression sheets. I love doing her expressions. If you guys are having trouble with the expression sheets, one thing I really like to do is think of dialogue from the movie, or think of dialogue from the characters and how they would act that out. Or you can also think of a musical number too. That also helps. Here is Sophie. Again, this is another thing I do where I just concentrate in one weird corner for some reason. Sometimes I do this because I liked this so much I don't want to continue doing warm-ups over here and kind of like mess up the page. But that's just me, that's how I feel. So here is Sophie from our original web series Demonic Crepes. This is her in her ball gown. I love this ball gown so much. It's my dream ball gown. These are just some expressions, some like really quick ideas I wanted to get down. Some like surprise, some angry. Here's Little Mouse. I had a mouse face. She is making apple strudel the old-fashioned way with a tablecloth. Super cute. Have you guys ever made apple strudel the old-fashioned way? Super fun. Takes up your whole table. This is Linguini. I took this from actually a storyboard. I had a phase for a long time where I really loved looking up Pixar storyboards and sketching the characters and like kind of polishing them up, but also trying to keep it loose because I tend to be really, really tight in my sketches, and so I'm trying to be a little looser, and not messy, because I read it as messy, but it's not. You're just like keeping it loose, keeping it real. So I like this Linguini a lot. I think it's really, really funny. Here I have some Tinkerbells, super duper cutie Tinkerbells. I wanted to think of some like little teeny objects that a pixie would have. This is her when she's like little. This is her first time flying, you know. She's kind of compact and kind of like kind of like a Yoshi trying to like get up really high. I actually did a finished sketch of this one because I like this one a lot. I have her crying because she's not getting what she wants. She has like a needle and a button as like a sword and shield, and then she's balancing with a Q-tip like a little acrobat. Here's a little mermaid who is beached with an otter. Again, you'll probably see a lot of mermaids today. Here's Persephone. If you guys didn't know, I love the tale of Persephone and Hades, and I've been working on their characters as if they would be an animated feature film because I've had kids ask me all the time if, you know, they're telling me they're tired of all these remakes and things like that, and they asked me if I was going to pitch a film, what would it be? And I'm thinking the tale of Persephone because there's so many great tales out there that haven't been done yet. So I really like this one. So here's Persephone. She's got like this little wreath of flowers. Here's some Vanellope's. I love Vanellope. She's got the cutest little baby face. She's like a little doll. And I think, yeah, got some more here. More Vanellope's, just trying to find her facial expressions. She got like the best nose. Here's some ballerinas. No, wait, no, they're ice skaters. Got some ice skaters. This one looks kind of upset. But I like her little tiara, and I love her little, like, whoosh. I like this little... So up next here we have one of my favorite really quick pose sketches. These are all Kim Possibles. If you guys didn't know, Kim Possible was a huge inspiration to me, especially with my own TV show coming up. I love this show so much, and I actually got to meet one of the art directors on the show the other day. I loved she has all these crazy poses. She's, you know, zip lining. I actually took this and made it into a Star vs. the Force of Evil sketch as well. She's always swinging, or, you know, she's always doing power poses. And of course, she's a cheerleader too, so she's got these fun, like, compact and jumpy kind of poses. So and then there's one where she's just rolling, she's karating, she's running. Kim is super fun. So let's move on to the next one. This is kind of just a mood. This is when I was moving. So after that super long day of moving into the new house, I did some sketches of like when boxes were falling on me and I caught it with my foot, or I'm just struggling to keep all these bags. I had a bag of laundry and I just threw it down the stairs. I just like kicked it down. This is just kind of like my mood on moving day. So here is some more of my Persephone concept art. So I actually had the pleasure of talking to Brittany Lee the other day, and she gave me this whole run through of being a visual development artist on Frozen and Frozen 2, as well as Wreck-It Ralph. So she walked me through Elsa and Anna's clothing and how triangles were super important, and the importance of having a character either be symmetrical or asymmetrical. And oh my gosh, you guys, it blew my mind. And I was stuck on Demeter for the longest time because Demeter is Persephone's doting mother, very protective mother, and so I wanted them to be very, very different. So what I did was I struggled with her for a while. I know I wanted her to be big and powerful and tall because she's this wonderful harvest goddess, and she's this cute little goddess of spring, and she's kind of on the cusp of maturity and like being a child, so she's kind of like halfway in between, but she's like full on like, you know, powerful lady. So I found that all these triangles really made her very sharp and very powerful, and she is perfectly symmetrical, while as like Persephone's kind of more like asymmetrical and kind of wild and playful and fun. But I also found that, you know, like having like all these little harvest things at the bottom here really played a lot. Brittany Lee talked a lot about how Anna and Elsa had very, very different patterns that spoke to them. So I thought this little harvest sharp pattern here really matched her very well. So I love how she turned out, and I love how they kind of suit each other. So you guys can see here how I was like just like figuring it out. I'm like, what happens here, what happens here? I'm like, what do I do with her hair? Because I wanted like her hair to also be like a triangle. Everything's got to be a triangle with Demeter. So yeah, you guys can see me kind of trying to like, what do I do, and then like boom, got it. You guys can kind of see like my thought process here. And then here I have her, I just have her big and tall. And here I have something very interesting. This is Persephone, and this is her looking rather sad, and she's one of my favorite characters to draw. And so here I just kind of want to show you guys another way of figuring out my sketches. So this is her original pose under sketch, and so you guys can see the final bit on top. So here I just kind of figured out like if she was arching her back, what her eyes would look like, where they're looking, the comparison to where her feet are to her hands, and kind of how her clothes would drape over her. And then I put this on top, and then I had a light box underneath. Obviously I don't have a light box right now, so I put a light box underneath so that way I could see underneath here, and then sketch her on top, the final rendition, so she doesn't look so messy. So yeah, that's my little Persephone. Alrighty guys, on to the final and more finished part of my little sketch tour here. So these are the more completed pieces. These could just be days where I really felt it and my ideas were really more tight and thought about. So this is one of my favorite pieces. I studied fashion from the 1830s. This is one of my favorite fashion periods. It was just super goofy and super over the top. Everything was like really large sleeves, and all the ladies had these really weird like shoulders, and the hats were just so extravagant. I loved this, the 1830s. Here's another storyboard study. This is Remy and Emil when they get shocked off the roof, and I think this is back when it was like a candy apple type thing, so that's super cute. Here's Jack Jack with his Num Num cookie. This one I worked on for so long. I really had to figure this one out. This is when they're helping Jack Jack learn how to use their powers, and the kids really want to help join in, so he's kind of holding back Dash, and Violet's trying to like kind of grab his arm to control Jack Jack's laser eyes. So I did a little series of like Goodnight Princess. So I did one of Ariel, Rapunzel, and Merida, and I think, so this is Ariel, this is her going to bed in her beautiful softy bed. I really wanted to get that, you know, nice warm feeling, and then she's combing out her hair with a dingle hopper. Here is just a warm-up of a girl with some wildflowers. I really love, if you guys are looking into getting colerase pencils, definitely look into getting the Tuscan Red, because it has this really great like purpley glow to it. Here's Harley Quinn. I drew so many Harley Quinn last year. She's one of my favorites. I love her so much. This is the kind of outfit that I settled on, because I know a lot of people have debate over which one is the best costume. So I combined all my favorite elements. So she has her pigtails that kind of ombre into a red here. She has like a superhero mask, a jingly collar, a whole bodysuit that's both black and red, and then roller skates and a hammer with a big heart on it. Here's another Ariel. This is also one of my favorites. She's hugging her little dingle hopper and thinking about the world above. This is a baby Merida with those little pastries that she has in the film. I love this one a lot because her hair was so much fun to draw. And to finish up here, we have an Edna mode with a supermodel. I kind of like to picture what happened to her when the superheroes became illegal and she had to find other work, and she had a great distaste for supermodels, so I wanted to have like a little look into Edna's life here. Here is a surfer girl. I did a lot of surfing studies before I went to Hawaii. So this is a really cute girl. I like how, you know, they're also very dynamic, just like ice skaters and ballerinas. I love like their movement, and yeah. Here is Linda from Bob's Burgers. This is a sketch I did to post on my Instagram for Thanksgiving, because whenever I think Thanksgiving, I think of Bob's Burgers and her lovely song. Here is a Ginger Rogers. I love Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, and so I actually just paused one of their dances, and I love this one because her dress was kind of like flaring up here, and she had this cute little bow on her chest, and I loved her expression and her bouncy hair and her little teeny tiny shoes. So yeah, here's a Ginger Rogers. And I believe this is our final piece for today. This is a mermaid, and she's kind of just looking over her shoulder at these cute little fishies. Yeah, I love drawing mermaids because of the same reason. I love ballerinas and surfers and ice skaters because they have a really great flow to them. So yeah, here's another one of my mermaids. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed watching my little sketch tour here. I hope you guys learned something and kind of got to know my process a little better. It's really important to have a good foundation in traditional art, not just animation, but really get that pencil to paper. I feel people get a little too comfortable doing digital work all the time, so definitely get out a pad of paper, get a pencil, and really start at the roots and work on those foundations. So until next time guys, stay inspired.